Hey, what's going on, Poke fans? Welcome back to Pokemon TCG Center. Today's video we'll be looking at Wailord V deck. It is a new card from the Champions Pet set that's recently been released, 280 HP with a draw up attack for 1 water energy, which says that you can attach up to 3 water energies from your discard pile to this Pokemon, and with the Ocean Waves, with 4 water energies, you can flip 3 coins, and for each coin you flipped and get heads, you hit for 120 damage, which is really strong. Obviously, you can one-hit knock out anything for 360, but not gonna be easy to toss 3 heads on the coin flip. What can make this deck a little bit, safer is a will supporter that says that you can treat one of the coins that you flipped as a heads. So you can treat 1 coin to be heads, and then the rest 2 are just up to you if you're gonna be lucky to flip heads or tails. But I think it's just gonna, lose the consistency, so decided rather to go with a Frosmoth instead. So with the Frosmoth, we can power up energies with the Ice Dance ability. We also have backup Keldeo GX attacking Pokemon for that Resolute Blade attack. There is also a Suicune for the Aurora Loop, and also 2 of each Crobat and the Dene for the setup. Additionally, I'm playing very consistent deck list with 4 communications, 4 Quick Ball, and 2 copies of Evolution Incense, featuring 3 copies of Capture's Bucket. Additionally to that, there are also 4 switches, 3 training cards so we can recycle energies back from discard pile back into our hand, 4 of each Research, Marnie, and 3 Boss's Orders, with 2 air balloons and 11 water energy cards. So obviously Wailord is a really interesting deck list, really interesting card, and it also really interesting rogue deck that can definitely one-hit knock out everything. I mean, if you get 3 heads on the coin flip, you hit for 360, and what in the world have 360 HP? Nothing, literally. I mean, theoretically, you can attach Big Charm to a Tornadus so you can have 370 and survive barely, but still, being able to flip for 360 in the current meta is just absolutely insane, as well as 200 HP on just a single basic Pokemon. Alright, so that's it for the video introduction. Let's move on to the game test and see how this deck works in action, so see you in the game. Alright, so we are about to start the game, and I want the coin flip, so I'm just gonna open the game by going first. There we go, there is a copy of a Wailord sitting in my hand. That's perfect. So with Wailord in opening hand, I can do a lot of things. As for example, I can use Pokemon Communication, set the Snum on the bench, attach energy. Oh, okay, I don't like the Spiritomb on the other side, I really need to say that, but it is how it is. So we're gonna go with energy attachment and with 1 Capture's Bucket. So I can probably throw that to Dene and go aggressively here, trying to find even another copy of Snum, just in case of being knocked out. There we go. Alright, and for now I'm just gonna pass the turn. I have Air Balloon plus Quick Ball, so I can set up for the following turn, but I'm playing versus Spiritomb, so probably this is just gonna be, something like 1 prize for 2 prize exchange, and there is a Great Ball for a Ricorio. Okay, so that might give me 2 prize card knockout. I need switch, I need a couple energy cards. My opponent still doesn't have Spike Town, Spike Mode, Spike Town, whatever it's the stadium name, in play, which really pushes me forward, at least for now. So there's 1 Golden Spite for 10 damage, and another Spiritomb for another 10 damage. I really like the Spiritomb deck. It's really funny to play. So my opponent decided to pass the turn. Alright. That's interesting. That's really interesting. So what if I just risk... No, I'm not gonna risk. I'm not gonna risk. I'm just gonna go with the safe play, trying to set the Crobat for 4, and I do have that boss's orders. I might get benefit from it or might not. So obviously I didn't. Let's do something like this. Draw up for 2 energies, and for now I'm just gonna prepare the Wailord to be ready for the following turn. The worst thing that can happen, I can, you know, at least take the knockout, be an advantage. And also I have boss's orders for the next turn, so probably I wouldn't even be able to knock my opponent anyways if I decided to play research, but I really didn't want to throw the research for 7, discarding 2 boss's orders, especially knowing that my opponent probably won't be able to one-hit knock me out anyways next turn. Who knows, we shall see. If I lose 4 energies, still it's not the end of the world. I'm gonna have that stun, which will eventually evolve into Frosmoth. And when he evolves into Frosmoth, I'm gonna start putting those energies back in action. Alright, so there we go. There is a couple of building spites. With those Spiritomb, still no Jinx in play, as well as Stadium, so my opponent just passes the turn. Really slow start here for him. I can risk, try to flip 2 heads, or I can just go for 1. I think I'm not gonna be too greedy, so I'm just gonna try to use at least 1 head. So yeah, actually it was a good call at the end, because, you know, flipping 2 heads out of the tree, it's not gonna be super easy. With Wheel, obviously you can get at least 1 heads guaranteed, but it is a supporter card that wastes the turn, so you know, you can definitely do it, but I think it's just not worth. Alright, so there is a Jirachi, and finally my opponent managed to find a Spikeman. There he go, and there is a Lannis Fishing Rod, so he can recover back that Spiritomb as well as Cape of Toughness on build Spite. So right now he needs couple switches, and then he can start to power up those Spiritombs. But meanwhile, we all know who's the boss in the sea. It is a Wailord Wii, and obviously he's ready to take another knockout next turn. I mean, I'm literally playing the deck that needs to flip a coin, and if I flip tails, you know what happens. So there are 2 switches. There are 2 switches plus research for 7. There we go with 1 big research for 7. And there is a Great Ball as well. Still my opponent didn't use that Dance of the Tribute ability that still he can use. And there is a Scoop Up Net, so he can scoop the Jirachi, put the Spiritomb and hit with 1 Anguish Crime for 160. So that's not bad at all. I mean, let's be honest. It's not. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna switch for now. And gonna throw that research for 7, see if I can find maybe Frosmoth with a couple energies. Unfortunately, there is a Frosmoth, but there's only 1 energy card for me, which means that if I can, let me see. Okay, so the strategy here obviously will be to try to attack if it's somehow possible with Suicune. Okay, that really hurts. That really hurts. 3 tails on the coin flip. Wailord unfortunately didn't hit. He's simply stuck, you know, with that ocean wave. Builds Spite, so right now that's Spiritomb out to 6. If there was at least 1 heads in the coin flip, he would be knocked out, obviously, and right now I would just be down to 4 prize cards, and he would probably just return knockout, and he would be equaled with the prize cards. But right now I can even consider attacking my opponent and maybe even knocking him out with the Frosmoth. I'm not sure if that's gonna be the case, but it definitely might be the case. There is a boss's orders. Maybe he just decide to... No, there is a bird keeper instead. For the moment, I was thinking that he will be going for that Frosmoth on the bench. So 1 damage move to the Spiritomb. So it's like 110 damage. I'll definitely knock him out with my Frosmoth. And I think I will need to do that. I might even decide to go with the Suicune. But not gonna have enough for the knockout with the Suicune. With that being said, I guess I have better chance to just get 1 instead of 2 energies, or at least Capture's Bucket. Marty for 5 needs to get 1 energy, or at least Training Cord. That can help as well. So with that being said, I can get myself a Water Energy. And I can use that Ice Dance. So 1 more energy goes to Suicune. I need to go with alternative route, unfortunately. And Aura Beam for... It is how it is. I mean, I really don't want to risk attacking with the Wailord. Wailord sitting on the bench, waiting for his opportunity. Trying to get the boss's orders into knockout for that Oricorio for the 2-price card knockout exchange. So that's gonna be the play in the future. There is another Cape of Toughness and Ominous Posture. Obviously, this Spiritomb have more than enough damage available for the knockout. There is another Build Spite. But next turn, my opponent will have trouble if he don't bench another Spiritomb this turn in play. I already managed to knock 2 Spiritombs, and I still need to knock a couple more of them. So there is another one. Spiritomb has always been a pain in the ass card. Every Spiritomb was a good. But this one is especially good. Okay, so switch into Jirachi. Okay, let's see. There is a Bird Keeper, so right now with the Bird Keeper he can get 3 more cards. I kind of like the fact that I have Pokemon Communication Marnie play available for the next turn, which I will definitely use because there is a boss's order, so he really wants to go for a Crobat. Okay, that's a knockout. Alright, that's interesting. That was an interesting decision for my opponent. I'm gonna go with 1 Quick Ball. Obviously not gonna need any of these cards, and then I will use Pokemon Communication. And back I'm gonna get that Crobat Wii. So I'm looking for some energies or Stadium. I'm gonna definitely throw that Marty, no doubt about it. I need to do it because I know that my opponent have Bird Keeper. Well, there is a energy card. Alright, there we go. As well as Training Court. Not sure how many energy cards I have left in my deck. 2 of them. Alright. This is one of those moments when you really don't know, is it better to go with the Suicune or is it better to go with the Wailord? It is really rough. But I'm not gonna go with the Wailord yet. I'm just gonna knock him out with my Suicune for like 130. I will wait and see what my opponent can do. Hopefully I will get that boss's orders, but right now I don't need it. I'm gonna need it for the next turn. There is a Spike Mood. Okay, so he basically needs to get a couple damage counters in play so he can just, you know, boss's orders my Dedenne on the bench, and then the game is over. But if he plays Bird Keeper, unfortunately, then he cannot boss his orders, which is a good thing for me. So there is Karate Belt. Okay. Let's fight. One more damage. So right now he have 130, and with that 160 damage. So right now there is 160 damage, but I don't think he have... Okay, there is another Spiritomb. Oh, he moved the damage just... Okay, interesting. He didn't put the damage on the Spiritomb. But looks like that he still don't have... There's a Bird Keeper. Okay, so at least he's probably just gonna go for a knockout against Suicune. I would do the same thing. Basically, because then you are just short from the boss order play for the win, obviously. Oh, he have Great Catcher. Okay, so with the Great Catcher, he can basically knock the Dene on the bench, take a 2 prize card knockout, and finish the game. I would say that probably I lost the game when I didn't flip heads on the coin flip with the Wailord. And from that moment, I couldn't simply get back. And that was a problem. So he also played Thor with reverse shoulder throw with the Karate Belt and 1 Aura Energy. You can hit for 30 plus. If your benched Pokemon have any damage counter on them, this attack does 90 more damage, which means that you can hit for like 200 for 120, or in translation for 240 against, you know, decks that are weak to the fighting, for example, lighting decks. So that's the GG. So here we are back with the game number 2, Wailord Wii. As you see, okay, starting with a Slum. My opening hand is not the best, not the worst. Could be better, could be worse. Am I playing versus Mad Party? Something tells me that I am playing versus Mad Party. Or at least against something that can use both type of energies, or maybe against Will. Okay, my turn. What to expect from this opening hand, I really don't know. I have no clue. I can hit for like 20 with the Wave Splash. I'm just gonna go with this Dene for 6, and still I can play support a card. Oh my goodness. Not looking good. But what really makes me happy here is that I can discard 4 energies, and I can pick 1 energy with the training card. All I really need is just the Wailord Wii. There we go. So here it is. Here is a big boy. And I'm also gonna put that Keldeo on the bench. Draw up for 3 energies, and I'm ready to go for the next turn. So good to go for the following turn. Ready to hit for at least 120 with 1 coin flip. Yeah, it's gonna be painful to hit coins, obviously. And even worse, there is a little muck, so my opponent definitely playing aggressively here, trying to move me out as fast as possible. How many item cards he can discard from the top of my deck? 2 of them, alright. If you don't play too many item cards, you don't need to worry too much about being milled out. But if you play tons of item cards, then muck might be a huge problem for you. So there is Research for 7 coming up. Triple Acceleration Energy and Evolution Incense discarded. There is a Air Balloon, Crushing Hammer, really not going to be super effective anyways. It is a heads. There is the Dene for 6. It's not going to be easy. I mean, risk taker, flip a coin. If you get heads, it's okay. If you flip tails, it's definitely not good because you waste a turn and you didn't get nothing with it. You just discarded the top 5 cards of your own deck. But if you get heads on the coin flip, and if you manage to discard the top 5 cards of your opponent deck, then you're good to go. So risk taker toxicity deck should be played by the will. You know, then you can just pick the result of the coin to be heads, and then you really don't need to worry about anything. You know, your life is just much safer with that. Okay, so my opponent chipped the energy from my Wailord, and something tells me that I should maybe just go with the Keldeo attack here. But you know what, since this is a Wailord deck test and Wailord video, he decided to. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the game number 3 then. Alright, so far from the game number 1 and also game number 2, we saw how consistent deck list really is. Managed to get 4 energies on that Wailord pretty quickly, and also tons of different options I had. That game number 1 unfortunately was just, you know, too hard for me to win. Let's be honest, I mean, it is how it is. You really cannot expect too much from Wailord against Spiritomb, because it's much faster. You trade 2 for 1 price card and it's really hard. But anyways, let's see what we're gonna face right now. We are gonna face Charizard and Break, so that should be an easy game. At least I think it should be an easy game. Okay, I mean, yeah, let's just go with 2 captures buckets. Gonna get myself 2 energies, I'm gonna get myself 2 more energies, and then what I'm gonna do next will be a switch down to Snum energy attachment, 1 the DNA for 6, so I can get fresh hand. There is an air balloon, there is a training court. Additionally to that, there is also a Crobat Wii. And 1 more quick ball that will provide me another Snum, just in case if one of those 2 falls down. And for now, I think I'm just gonna get one of those energies into my hand and pass the turn. Okay, so turn 2 I can have Frosmoth, and I can start to power up that Wailord. With that being said, if I get lucky and if Stadium stays in play, I can take 1 more water energy, and the only thing that I'm gonna need will be a Captures Bucket or another water energy with the Research for 7, and I think it's pretty safe to say that I'm having good opportunity and very good chance to basically get all of these cards. Okay, so it looks like we are playing versus Green and Greenzard. At least I think it is a Greenzard. So what I can expect from my opponent, probably switch into Volcanion for Flare Starter into 3. And there might also be a Welder, Vitality Band, okay. And Greens, as expected. Yeah, probably with the Greens, 2 trainer cards, maybe a Stadium and maybe a Welder. Personally, I would probably consider doing that, because with yeah, obviously you really need to do something like that, or maybe attack call plus a Welder, but then you're short for energy, but you can always get energy, maybe even have energy. Actually, attack call is a good way to go. Energy Spinner Boss's Orders, interesting. With the Energy Spinner, he can pick himself obviously 3 energy cards, so it really makes sense, but he opted not to take them. I would probably consider taking them. Yeah, probably he knows the best. Ooh, interesting. So there is a second evolution instance. So right now I have 2 Frosmoths in play. With 2 Frosmoths in play, I can start to power up quickly my Wailord. And what is really bad right now is the fact that I have 1 energy less than I really need to knock my opponent. Potentially Charizard on the bench with the Boss's Orders. Okay, so the last card was a energy card, and I guess I'm just gonna retreat. I'm gonna put that. I'm gonna grab myself second Wailord actually. And that's gonna be Ocean Waves for how much? Okay, 2 heads on the point click. Let's do 2 for 80. Sounds good. First price card for me, thumbs up. There's Underwater Energy, and next turn, if Stadium stays in play, obviously I can pick that energy. And yeah, I think that's the GG. I mean, obviously I'm playing versus weakness, so my opponent cannot do really too much. He can Brilliant Flare for like 180. If that was another Charizard, potentially he could survive. But the first thing is that I still need to flip 2 heads on the coin flip. If I flip only 1 heads on the coin flip, I won't be able to knock the Charizard out. So, yeah, I mean, let's see what's gonna happen. Let's see what's gonna happen. Wailord 280 HP. Why they didn't print Wailord VMAX? I don't know. I remember when the first Wailord EX was printed, it was a 300 HP Pokemon. Imagine 300 HP Pokemon in a 100 HP meta. That was absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so he took the knockout versus Crobat. Obviously, that was a good choice because he cannot knock the Wailord out anyways. And I have another Wailord on the bench, so at least he's maybe hoping that I'm not gonna be able to flip 2 heads on the coin flip. I can hit with the Suicune for like 260, short for 10. Feels bad, I know. Not playing Zigzagoon. But I think it's definitely worth to power up one of those non-Wii attacking Pokemons like Suicune, for example, so I can go with the safe route. But no, I'm just gonna go with the Wailord. The king is here. 2 heads to the point flip. That's the knockout. That's another 480 damage knockout, and that is it. As you can see, really powerful Wailord deck. You cannot expect too much. So 4 Volcanion, 2 Charizard, and 1 Charizard and breaks in for my opponent's side of the field. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. If you did, please consider subscribing to the channel for more videos. Hit the thumbs up and let me know in the comments what you think about it. I hope you enjoyed watching it. So we'll see you next time. As always, Wailord Wii. Definitely powerful card, but what really makes it not that good in my opinion is the attack that needs to flip 3 heads and that requires 3 coins to be flipped in order to, you know, hit for at least 120 with 1 head. So overall, not that good, but always good as a rogue deck approach. Thank you for your time. We'll see you next time.